Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti NATASHA binti YAMIN. My metric number is 2021840026.
Hi, my name is NURUL binti ZAKREE. My metric number is 2021603316.
Hi, my name is NATRAH binti MAHAMOD. My metric number is 2021609332.
Hi, my name is NABILLAH binti NOHARUDDin. My metric number is 2021870976.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SITI SAPURA binti RAHMAN and my metric number 2021494298.
In 1960, the Red Book was launched by the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural Development, Tun Abdul Razak. The Red Book contains Tun Abdul Razak instructions in implementing development plan. This includes maps, reports on general plan, record progress and monetary policy in implementing progress plan. This book launched for purpose rural development projects in every state throughout Malaysia. Before a development can be implemented, the description of it's clearly outlined in the form of a diagram, including maps of the districts to be developed. In 1974, the Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein launched the Green Book Plan at the Operation Room, Prime Minister Department, Kuala Lumpur. The Green Book Plan is a positive action to help the people overcome the problems faced by inflation. The Green Book Plan is an extension of the reform movement launched in 1972. This plan requires the people to take a more active part in the agriculture economic sector. In implementing the Green Book Plan, the government also ensure that all the machinery can move in an orderly and planned manner for the development of the people and the country.
Important and impact of Red Book. Tun Abdul Razak implemented the Red Book initiative in effort to improve the working environment of the regional network. The Red Book Plan is a plan to increase the progress of the country that Deputy Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak tried to do. The Red Book is the focus of provincial improvement projects such as road construction, stretching mosque, and clinics. The Red Book Plan covers programs for the turn of event, program of professions, and compelling education, and the extent to which the second Malaya Plan is being cultivated. Perhaps the most important consequence of the Red Book stems from the decentralization of planning and executive development. The District Rural Development Committee did the planning work, and the same committee will now implement most of the plans. For example, in Perak, the committee knew last December how much money they would have for this year. They can continue project work immediately. The Red Book has provided something simple and tangible for people to hold on. This makes it a symbol of the government's concern for the rural populations. The symbolic power of the Red Book is not entirely beneficial. The Red Book has drawn attention to the government's commitment to listen and act on public demand. The people have been told that the money is no problem. The Red Book Plan component of the ORT was phased out because it had achieved its main objective of providing the so-called development cover group. Although the successful creation of this construction project was important, it did not bring about the total rural development that the government had in mind. Therefore, to replace the Red Book Plan of the ORT, the government introduced a series of sloganeering and change awareness. This was essentially a preconditioning process to achieve modernizations.
Next, I will present about the contribution of the Red Book. The first contribution is rural development. This is because Tun Abdul Razak really worries about the people who live in the rural areas and want to improve rural area by developing the 5 years plan for the development for the nation. The Red Book proposals were then collected and edited by the respective state rural development committees, then brought together and edited and included in the ministry's 5 years plan. So, to develop rural areas, it must have an excellent plan because it is the hope of citizens that live in the area. Next, the establishment of the Federal Land Development Authority, Federal. Due to the effort to develop rural areas, the function of this establishment were to manage the resettlement of the rural poor to newly developed areas and to conduct and implement land development projects. Then, from the productivity and economy perspective, the job creation increases because of the development of infrastructure. Along with that will also reduce the economic gap. After that, the challenges during completion of the Red Book. The challenges during the completion of the Red Book was the allocated time given to complete the Red Book was too short, as the completion of the Red Book was given top priority by the federal and state governments. The local committees were in the best position to accomplish their limited tasks with the greatest speed by using their knowledge of the instructed technical competence. Most committees met once a week or more, some even working around the clock to meet the deadline. The other challenge was there are problems with the attitude of the workers. Some professional engineers declined to provide a rough cost estimate, and some others refused to sign the map traces as required. The ministry handled the situation immediately and effectively. The request for a rough estimate was repeated in a memo. The experts were also informed that their signatures on the tracking represented their cooperation in the initiative and that they would not be held responsible for the estimates that would later need to be altered. The memo was friendly yet stern. So as the workers, we must be responsible for the tasks that are given to us to avoid any bad circumstances from the happening.
Importance and impact of Green Book. Tun Abdul Razak was especially concerned with rural development. He recognized the importance of socio-economic balance where everyone can contribute to benefit from the country's progress. He is known as Malaysia's father of development due to his policy emphasis on rural and agriculture development. One of his many innovations was the introduction of the Green Book, launched on 20 December 1974. The Green Book contained plans and guidelines for proper use of land, short-term plantation, livestock, freshwater fish farms, markets, and other small projects. The purpose of the Green Book was to increase the supply of food supplies for the whole country, generate income for rural folk as a method to control inflation, and encourage cooperation among citizens, their representatives, and government officials. The impact of Green Book. Our country has been launched to revolutionize the agriculture sector like RISDA, established Petronas established BEM Pembangunan Farm Standards and Industrial Research Institute of Malaysia, or SIRIM form, and local government election abolished.
The contribution of Green Book is reduce the inflation rate of Malaysia during the reign of Tun Abdul Razak due to the drop in rubber prices and the economic crisis in the early 1970s. Tun Abdul Razak encouraged Malaysians to do backyard farming, where every netizen of the country takes advantage of the land space available at home to grow crops. It is seen to be able to help the people prepare their own food and also earn additional income through sales. It is because our country is very rich with rich natural products. The challenges of Green Book is Malaysia begin to change its focus from an agricultural country to an industrial country after almost a decade of launching these Green Books. This undoubtedly reduced the influence of the Green Book in the formation of government policy. This caused the issue of agriculture and food production domestically to be completely unsolved until now. With the government's lack of action against Tun Abdul Razak's Green Book plan, it will cause Malaysians to continue to be in economic trouble. This is because the price of goods is rising due to war factors such as the Ukraine-Russia war. The government should re-implement this Green Book plan by encouraging short-term crop activities, group plantation, and farming and freshwater fish conservation that can provide results in the short term to the public.
In conclusion, the Red Book stimulus is to make the development program parallel in all rural areas with implementation through 3 levels, namely the central, state, and district levels. It is a step to inculcate community and interest in local development when the people and leaders are involved not only in the development implementation process but in the planning process as well. In addition, a Green Book was launched to reduce the dependence on foreign countries in accommodating the people's food needs. Moreover, it can increase the income of citizens and reduce inflation.